Consider that the concept of the Messiah is an arrangement of words, similar to a petition, or a request, for something specific. You therefore know it is the Messiah, because the actions of this individual correspond a written request that has been pre-stipulated. The Jewish faith is what originated this theme, and they have had several messiahs, for each epoch has a particular need. Let us not forget, that the Jewish religion is the father religion to Christianity, and also to the latecomer, Islam. The Messiah for the Day method, used by the Jewish faith, is most likely correct, since it is the Jewish faith that gave us the concept in the first place. Today, Jews have a current set of parameters for their Messiah. Islam has another set of demands for its believers. Christianity, of course, has Jesus Christ as its Messiah, but Jesus did not completely work out the first time. So Christianity waits for his return, and also has a list of expectations for when Christ returns. Today, our world awaits for each of these major religions, and their specific request for a Messiah. Is this not the same thing as asking magic to solve your problems? Have we not evolved? Do we still expect God to solve our problems? Is it not sufficient to be thankful for all we have? The Kabbalists certainly are the most interesting of them all. In 1666, the Lurianic, Kabbalist movement, had a messiah named Sabbatai Zevi, who also did not complete what he had come to do. He then returned in the 18th century, as the reincarnation Jacob Frank. This messiah chose an antinomian approach to invoke God. They decided, since God was both good and evil, the faithful had ignored the evil side of God. To get the desired result, they would do the opposite of what they had done in the past. Instead of good, they would now do evil. This was genius, and years before game theory. Mathematically, it has been proven that cheating works, as long as the other players don't know you are cheating. It took von Neumann, and a Nobel Prize, to prove what a 3-year-old child instinctively knows, that lying and cheating works great, as long as you don't get caught. There is no doubt that our species must be as dumb as a piece of shoe leather, and the Kabbalists are the only ones that understand what's going on. What they did was reinterpret the words of the Bible into an opposite intention, and it worked wonderfully well, as long as no one knew the wiser. Evil works great. Here is where God comes in. Who would have guessed in 1666 that there would someday be the Internet, and that it would be so much more difficult to hide your activities? The Kabbalists have the most reasonable and correct understanding of good and evil. They reason since God created the world, and good and evil is part of the world. Good is not any better than evil, since both are part of the same God. This does hold true for God, since God is unaffected by either good or evil, but this certainly does not hold true for us. Good and evil affect us, and that is why we create moral arguments and build laws for our society. It is a mathematical truth that evil will prevail when you don't know what, or who, is doing the evil action, but it is also mathematically true that if you know someone is evil, or cheating, you will prevent them from doing so. Because humans have the ability to reason. We understand that a corrupt and evil society fails. We know this for certain because at its core, evil is a primitive and basic act. It is a simple act of taking something you did not earn. It is an activity done by those that cannot produce. Instead they rely on taking things from those that produce and create. A society can only take a certain amount of evil activity because those people that create and produce will simply stop producing, revolt, or leave. God has recently also given us something even more impressive than the Internet to eliminate evil: birth control. Although we now live longer lives, it turns out that as we develop, we make the social choice not to have children. At the same time, the real cost of production of things we need and want becomes less and less expensive each day. There is a law in economics called diminishing marginal utility. It says the more stuff we have, the less we want it. If the population decreases, and production of goods gets cheaper and cheaper, then, at some point, the need for stealing, corruption, or slavery, in order to get the things you want, becomes pointless. In order for evil to work, it must be occult or secret. The Internet is making secrecy very difficult. In addition, in order for evil to have value, there must be something you want. A negative birth rate, along with overproduction, gives us fewer people, chasing a glut of goods. The Kabbalist will now need to look to the other side of the Sephiroth, to find enlightenment. As a species we have the unique ability to speak and reason. Prophets and philosophers like Socrates, Jesus Christ, Maimonides, Spinoza, and Leibniz, just to name a few, have told us of the importance of reasoning things out, along with that of the dialectic, the political and philosophical argument. There is a rational, and better solution for the Messiah dilemma, it is that you no longer wait for the Messiah, instead, you become the Messiah. This way, you get exactly what you're asking for, and maybe, this time, you don't kill the messenger. We all need to grow up, and take this responsibility onto ourselves. In recent history, we have discovered outstanding technology, and have reduced evil to a mathematical formula. I suggest, we take these new abilities, and build a secret society, which is not secret, in other words an open society, that is as knowledgeable, and capable, as any of the secret societies, that there may be, or may be imagined. Game theory teaches that good, and evil, is found in the variables, of each interaction. That this function, is moderated by the player's choices, frequency of transactions, and outcome of the interaction. Current technology will permit simple, and quick transactions, with higher frequency, that can be conducted on an open web-based system, where the parameters, and options, are clear to all players. What is certain about game theory, is that without players there is no game. Also, we know, that the distinction between a game, and reality is real-life activities. Life is a game where some players have been able to cheat the ignorant peasants. We have been against the occult because it is the tool used when people cheat us. It is difficult to take what does not belong to you, when everyone can see what you are doing. We have designed a game that is open, and actions visible to all who play. With real economic components, based on game theory, and where corruption cannot hide. Contact us to learn more, and participate. What can be said about these topics, and this video is up to you. I hope you will comment, and join the project, at historyreligionandtruth.com. Give us your thoughts on this matter. Thank you.